Today our topic is the Stoic strategy for dealing with enemies. Life is full of challenges, and one of the most difficult challenges we face is dealing with people who seem to be against us, whether they are enemies, rivals, or simply difficult individuals. Stoics, ancient philosophers who focused on living a good life through wisdom and self-control, had a unique approach to handling such situations. Their teachings can help us not only deal with enemies, but also grow stronger and more resilient in the process. The Stoic strategy for dealing with enemies is not about fighting or seeking revenge. Instead, it is about understanding, self-control, and turning obstacles into opportunities. Let's explore how we can apply these principles in our lives. First, the Stoics believe that we cannot control other people's actions, but we can control our reactions. This is one of their most important ideas. When someone acts against us, it is natural to feel anger, frustration, or even hatred. However, the Stoics teach us that these emotions do not help us. In fact, they often make things worse. Instead of reacting with anger, we should pause and think. Ask yourself, why is this person acting this way? What can I learn from this situation? How can I respond in a way that aligns with my values? By focusing on our own actions and thoughts, we take back control. We stop letting others dictate how we feel. This does not mean we ignore the problem or let people treat us badly. It means we choose a calm and thoughtful response instead of an emotional one. Next, the Stoics believed that our enemies can be our greatest teachers. This might sound strange, but think about it. When someone challenges us, they force us to grow. They show us our weaknesses and push us to become better. For example, if someone criticizes you unfairly, instead of getting angry, you can ask yourself, is there any truth in what they are saying? Can I use this feedback to improve? Even if their intentions are bad, you can still learn something valuable. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, when someone insults you, it is like they are handing you a gift. If you do not accept the gift, it remains with them. In other words, insults and attacks only hurt us if we let them. By refusing to take them personally, we take away their power. Another important Stoic idea is to see the bigger picture. When we are in a conflict, it is easy to focus on the immediate problem and forget about the larger context. The Stoics remind us that life is short and that many of the things we worry about are not as important as they seem. Ask yourself, will this matter in a year? In 5 years? When we take a step back, we often realize that the conflict is not worth our energy. This does not mean we should avoid all conflicts, but we should choose our battles wisely. Focus on what truly matters and let go of the rest. The Stoics also teach us to practice empathy, even with our enemies. This does not mean we have to like them or agree with them, but we should try to understand their perspective. Everyone has reasons for their actions, even if we do not agree with those reasons. Maybe the person who is against you is acting out of fear, insecurity, or misunderstanding. When we try to see things from their point of view, it becomes easier to respond with compassion rather than anger. This does not mean we excuse bad behavior, but it helps us approach the situation with a clearer mind. Another Stoic strategy is to focus on what we can control. We cannot control how others behave, but we can control how we prepare and respond. For example, if you know someone is likely to criticize you, think about how you will handle it beforehand. Prepare yourself mentally so that you are not caught off guard. The Stoics called this premeditation of adversity. By imagining the worst-case scenario and planning how to deal with it, we reduce our fear and increase our confidence. This does not mean we expect the worst to happen, but we are ready if it does. The Stoics also believed in the power of humility. When we are in conflict, it is easy to think that we are always right, and the other person is always wrong. But the truth is, we all make mistakes. The Stoics remind us to be humble and open to the possibility that we might be wrong. This does not mean we should doubt ourselves constantly, but we should be willing to listen and learn. Humility helps us stay calm and avoid unnecessary conflicts. Another important Stoic principle is to focus on virtue. Stoics believe that the most important thing in life is to live with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. When we face enemies, we should ask ourselves, how can I act virtuously in this situation? How can I show courage without being reckless? How can I be fair, even when others are not? By focusing on virtue, we rise above the conflict and become better people. Finally, the Stoics teach us to accept what we cannot change. Some conflicts cannot be resolved, and some people will always be against us. In these situations, the best thing we can do is accept reality and focus on our own growth. Acceptance does not mean giving up or admitting defeat. It means recognizing that some things are beyond our control, and choosing to focus on what we can control. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realizes this, and you will find strength. This is the heart of the Stoic strategy for dealing with enemies. We cannot control others, but we can control ourselves. By focusing on our own thoughts, actions, and values, we turn challenges into opportunities for growth. In conclusion, the Stoic strategy for dealing with enemies is not about winning or losing. It is about maintaining our inner peace and becoming better people. When we face enemies, we should pause and think, learn from the situation, see the bigger picture, practice empathy, focus on what we can control, be humble, act virtuously, and accept what we cannot change. These principles can help us handle conflicts with wisdom and strength. Remember, every challenge is an opportunity to grow. As the Stoics would say, the obstacle is the way. By applying these teachings, we can turn our enemies into teachers and our challenges into stepping stones on the path to a better life.